Hey everyone, it's me. Hey everyone, it's me, Karl Welshman, K Welshman, whatever you want to call me. And this is my review of Lilo and Stitch. Lilo and Stitch is a Disney film that came out about 74 years ago. I think it's one of the original Disney animated adventures about a little girl and predominantly it's a fucking gremlin. But I'm jumping ahead of myself here. So what we've got is a whole bunch of aliens are all on this ship one day, and one of them has created this unstoppable force, which later becomes called Stitch, but they call it xenomorph, something like that. And this creature can spit acid, lay eggs out of its asshole, which create these little spider creatures which jump onto people's faces. And I know what you're thinking, ooh, this is just like aliens, but it's not, because what these things do once they're on your face is turn your face upside down. That causes havoc. Can you imagine your fucking face upside down? Swallowing would force food to come into the top of your head and bulge. So people have to learn how to unswallow food and unswallow drinks. Anyway, the head of this alien federation is like, what the fuck is this abomination that you've created? Why have you done that? And the alien that created this xenomorph thing is like, what else are we supposed to do? Huh? We're in space. What are we supposed to do? So she's like, this thing needs to be killed. I want it fucking dead. So bunch of like police aliens come along now. They arrest the creature that, or the alien that made the xenomorph. They extract some blood from the xenomorph and attach it to some cannons, and they're like, these cannons now, they are linked to your DNA. Any shit that you do, they're gonna pulverize your head. It is gonna be pumped all over the fucking world. So don't move, you stupid alien. So the alien, he's a cheeky little thing. It's like a blue creature, rabbit, kind of cat mixed with a dog, but with like extra hand. And it can talk, so it's like this, oh, I'm gonna fucking go mad here. And he starts going crazy and manages to escape. Gets away from the cannons, gets in a spaceship, flies directly to Earth, straight to Earth. All the places that he could have gone to, straight to Earth. Now, on Earth, there's this little girl called Lilo, Lila, and she's in class and she's dancing and things, and there's like a little ginger girl that's dancing and stuff as well. Lilo, actually, she's not dancing, she's at the bottom of the fucking ocean, first of all, at the start. She's at the bottom of the ocean, swimming around, so when she does get to school, she is fucking soaking. And all this water goes all over the stage, and everyone's doing hula dancing, and they all slip. Ginger girl, she fucking flies in the air, comes down, and just on the edge of the stage, and Disney captured the moment that her neck breaks in beautiful detail. Like, just the drawing and the amount of frames that they used on this. Like, so she comes down, and neck fucking folds. She falls backwards, but not only that, her tongue is half out of her mouth as well, so her teeth just clamp down and her tongue just comes flying out of her mouth, hits the floor. Lilo, she is like in hysterics, just laughing. Everyone turns around and starts pointing at her going, freak, 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 freak. And Lilo's like, like that's just, she just goes bananas. Like, she pulls the curtains down from the side of the stage, just wraps them around the teacher's face, and starts pulling it, and the teacher's like, I don't know, like Lilo's super strong for some reason, so the whole teacher's head just fucking caves in inside the curtain, just like this massive like veins and a couple of tubes and stuff, blood everywhere. Lilo then, she goes home to find that her sister, who should be looking after her, because Lilo's parents died as well. Like, you don't see that in the film, which is good, because that'd be far too graphic. yeah, because it's the last thing you want in a Disney film is to see any situation where somebody dies, like the parents or family members like that. Anyway, she goes home, her sister's supposed to be looking after her, and Lilo just causes havoc in the house. She finds a little bit of heroin in her sister's bedroom, and it's only a little bit, just a Disney amount, so it's okay. And she doesn't know what to do. She's never used the paraphernalia before, like, so she attaches she's like, instead of putting a piece of cord around her arm, she straps it to the top of her head. And the top of her head, like, even though she's got a mass of dark hair, the front of her forehead all swells up, and she just gives herself just a touch of heroin. And the credit goes to Disney again, because the way that they capture this moment of the sister coming home and finding her little sister, who's, you know, 6 years old now, with like a needle hanging out of her head. So the sister goes back home, social services have fucking turned up as well, and they're like, what is going on here? That little girl's, she's OD'd. What the fuck? Listen, we'll give you one more chance, right? But seriously, if I come here again and your house is covered in shit like this, because there's like literally just dirty knickers, fucking porn playing in the background, and a drugged up little girl on the floor, you're like, listen, this better be cleaned up, right? 24 hours. Or not only are we going to take Lilo away, I'm going to shoot you in the fucking head, because this is disgusting. So Lilo wakes up and she's like, oh Christ, what happened? And her big sister's like, you fucking idiot, what the hell were you thinking? Lilo's head's like just big black eye now, she's got a smack on the side of her head. But just as the sister's about to beat the shit into her little sister, there's this big green flashing light in the sky, and this is Stitch coming down. At this point in the film, they don't realise that it's Stitch, and so they're looking out the window, and Lilo's like, oh, I want to make a wish, and the big sister's like, oh, what's your wish? And she's like, you wish you'd fucking die, you fucking bitch, like that. And then she smacks her big sister in the jaw. She's like, oh, fucking hell. She then just elbow drops Lilo in the top of the head, just like straight in the top, like that, like that. Lilo's eyes are freaking all over the place. She's just stumbling around, like, around the room, and that's when Stitch bursts through the window, just goes, sprays acid all over Lilo, all over Lilo's sister. The two of them are screaming as their skin bubbles, melts all the way down to the bone, and Stitch then sort of clambers over and just does it again, just goes into their open mouths like acid and stuff. They're completely melted now, and he just starts, like, this tube comes out of his mouth. It looks like a kind of, I don't know, like a skinned penis comes out of his mouth, and it just pulsates just like that, slurps up the melted remains of Lilo and his sister. The guy I was on about earlier on, the one from like social services, he was in his car, he's listening to some crazy black metal, giving it a fucking horns, just punching the front of his car and stuff, like the dashboard and everything. Completely breaks it, because, you know, Disney style drawings where they over exaggerate people. This guy is like that big and about this freaking wide. His fists are bigger than my kitchen, yeah. So when he does that, the front of his car literally just comes right off, and he's like, fuck. And then he decides he's just going to pop in and see what the hell's going on with Lilo and her sister. Just as he gets to the door, Stitch just jumps up, and Stitch has got these four arms. They just clasp each of them into his face, and it just rips his whole face off. And he's like, with his skull head and everything like that. And then he's just clambering on the floor with Stitch just laughing at him and stuff. And he's like, kill me! Help me! And then Stitch just literally just throws loads of sand into his open wounds of his face, well, where his face used to be. It's all going into his mouth and into like his jawbone and everything like that. And then the Galactic Federation that I mentioned at the start of the film, you see them just kind of go whomp and just appear up above Earth. There's this massive bright flash, and Earth is destroyed. Everything is destroyed except for this social services guy who's now in space. He's like, he's in so much pain and that, just floating around in space. And because it's a Disney cartoon, anything can happen. So it turns out that he's actually in space for about 4 days before he eventually dies. And that's how the film ends, basically. It's like an after credit scene with his body just sort of tumbling in slow motion like that, just through space. Great film. Great film.